Hello everyone, thanks for dropping by. Sorry I'm a bit late today, but I've just finished the cleaning. Anyway, before I start, that car is called Lucid. Though it's got a Dutch number plate, it's all American. Built in Arizona and headquarters in a place called New Oak in California. Quite nice, 500-mile range, looks nicer than a Tesla, and that's the shape of cars of the future. If you want one, it's $83,000 starting price, and it goes up to just under $250,000. If I had that kind of money, I'd probably have one, but I ain't, so I'm not going to bother. Anyway, enough of that. Last week, I did a video about 30-year-old women that getting dating advice in how to get a 30-year-old guy to commit and start dating them, as they're just being totally ignored because they're all essentially post-war. Now, this goes both ways in the dating market, as I've noticed. This site, as you can see, Beyond Ages. Now, this is specifically aimed at 30-year-old guys to try and sort of give them advice and undercover shame them to date 30-year-old women. Because if you click on that, you get all sorts of information, where to meet single women and spark their interest, why you can't get a girlfriend, how to improve yourself, etc. It's all generalized information, reasons for dating. Both men and women are looking to settle down and start a life together in your 30s, while some older women may be looking to recapture their glory days in their 20s. Mature women will be looking for long-term partners. In other words, she's had her fun and she wants Billy Beater. And dating pool, when you're younger, greater number of women to choose from. In other words, all the cards were in her favour. The dating pool ranging from women our age as well as mature ladies that strike our fancy. In your 30s, if you've dated in your 30s, you probably have a defined number of characteristics that are desirable versus those that turn you off. Well, for me, it's tattoos, piercings, nose rings, bull rings, and a shitty attitude. I just don't find that appealing at all. And I'm not the only one. And furthermore, women are likely to have children by this time and look for a new relationship after a separation / divorce. In other words, childhood Tyrones or previous husbands. Don't date single women. This often puts men at an advantage to find unattached partners, i.e. 20-year-olds, whereas women with children or a divorce in their recent past have to work harder to find a high-value man. They're still picky. And then we've got a guy to get a girlfriend, marriage and children. Besides companionship, marriage and children are definitely certain factors that play in whether a woman wants to be with a man long term. In other words, she's got baby rabies. The baggage, young people have left baggage, which makes relationships feel fresher. By the 30s, the consequences of a carefree youth may have caught up with you. That is body count for women. Then compatibility requirements. Compatibility is the name of the game. If you're 30, women often test men on the first date onwards. That is why a lot of these dates that guys have said, it feels like a job interview. That's why if you should date a woman, take her to coffee straight away. That's a tester for her. The next date, you have lunch. Then the third date, you have a dinner. If she bails on the coffee, then she's not the woman for you. Then we have about sex. In your 20s, a primary motivation factor, meeting a partner, maybe for some people, but I gave all that up shortly before I turned 16. In your 30s, sex shouldn't be a big deal. Hooking up in your 30s is just as common in your 30s, if not more than in your earlier years. And then appearance, in your 20s, you You want to find someone attractive. That goes for all guys, because a woman's looks is what attracts them straight away. In your 30s, looks are still important, and dating your 30s. Remember, this site is aimed at men, not at women. All this information is aimed at guys. And the length of relationship, in your 30s, you want to spend as much time with someone before you even think about settling down. And the direction, in your 30s, when women are in their 30s, they want direction. They're looking for men who have their life together and are actively pursuing success. A guy's pursuing success doesn't have much time for women. And then we got how to date 30-year-old guys, how to date and meet 30-year-old women, where to meet them, upscale bar, but you can go in there and you may not even get a smile. And if you approach a woman, she'll label you a creep. Running hiking groups, volunteering, dating apps like Tinder, and friends. If your guy's got MGTOW friends, he'll advise the guy not to even bother. And then what reds to look out for. She's got daddy issues. She strings you along and doesn't want a committed relationship. That is what a lot of guys have complained on the YouTube channels. Better Bachelor, 33 Secrets, Company of Kings, and all the rest of them. She lacks maturity. That's a lot of women today. And more and more information. This guy is a dating coach like the 33 Secrets guy, and this was done on the 24th of April this year. And where's it? Does she lacks maturity. I think it's this one I had a look at earlier. Nope. Actually pursuing more women. This is it. Now this was written by a guy who's with a mature woman. Why you need to start dating mature women. This is another shaming site. They know what they want. You might learn some things. The sex, she's more sexually active, fewer inhibitions. They don't play games. That's rubbish. All women these days, I've noticed, play games. Dating mature women help you find your better self. They're thoughtful, they're solvent. Then you should date mature women because they know themselves. They look better, maybe, but she still hasn't got the freshness of youth that she had when she was in her 20s. The lingerie drawer, final word of dating mature women, and this was written by him, another dating coach, and he has extremely accomplished dating coach with thousands of men around the world, blah, blah, blah. This was done on 19th of April this year. Anyway, this site, this one, is a shaming site. This is another one I found. Load of data. It's a dating site. And you click on that, which country, Russian brides. But remember, what you see isn't what you get, and if it looks too good to be true, it is. She's 30, she's post-war. She's 30 post-war. She's 34 post-war. She's in a prime, but I don't think she's 21. She doesn't look 21 to me. She's post-war, post-menopausal. She's supposed to be 36, but she's an old-looking 36. And she's 31, also post-war. Now, this is a similar site to that. Dating women in their 30s is not that hard. Of course not. Won't highlight. Women in their 30s, they're getting desperate because they're all being turned down. Now we got dating advice. in your 30s, a man looking in your 30s looking for 30-year-old women may be troublesome. She may be divorced. In other words, she's got baggage. She may be a widow. If so, she gets a free pass unless she's got children. She may be introverted, i.e. bookish. If you're introverted yourself, you can get on with her. She may have kids, in other words, shadow Tyrones. Or she might have kids from a previous relationship, which goes to this one. Don't date single mothers. Be ready for suspicious behaviour. Be prepared with an unpredictable temper if she can't get her own road. Be patient with her routine and habits. And then advice. Dating women in your 30s, fun and positivity. Or you could get drama and angst. And then how to start dating. Where to meet 30-year-old women. Dating in your 30s is simple. Date a family and give birth to many happy, healthy kids, but she's past her physical prime, her fertility. Dating over 30 is more beneficial than you think. That's another Ukrainian, I think. And there we go, more again, Olga, 35. The Julia, 20, Irina, 36, 29. Don't believe any of that rubbish. The final thing I found was this, Real Men, Real Estate. Now this was done on August 7th, 2023. Now this is interesting. An incredible 56% of women state they prefer to date a guy older than them. And 45% of women want their men to be between 5 and 15 years older than they are. Well, the guy in that age has got his shit together and he's got resources. Get rid of that. And then we got what attracts young women to older men, why date a young woman, what do you tell a young woman if she's interested in you. Now this was the interesting thing. Disadvantages of dating younger women as an older man. Regardless of maturity levels and romantic connections, two people at different stages of life will have different priorities and desires, of course. A 40-year-old guy wants peace and quiet. A 20-year-old woman wants fun and times and sometimes drama. And then wanting a family. If she's 30, you ain't going to get that. It's natural for a young woman to want to start a family, so when you look for a romantic partner, the potential as a father will come into play. In other words, resources. In fact, it may be your experience as a great dad that makes you attractive to her. But if you got children from another woman, then you won't be attracted to her. But this bit I found interesting. Young women are in the prime of life at age of 30. No, they're not. The prime of life for a woman is 18 to 24. 30, she's approaching the wall. It's only natural for someone to push themselves to the limit and succeed in their professional lives. Like her, that model, a career woman. She puts her career before you. Other people will judge you. It's ridiculous that I've even have to include this, but here goes. Some people would judge older men dating younger women. It's a sad fact of life, and that you'll have to accept in dating a younger woman. Nobody judged Elon Musk when he was dating a woman 20 years younger than him. Make your kids uncomfortable. And this, if you're 50-year-old and you're dating and you've got children, the children will be 20 years old. Why should a 50-year-old man date another woman when he's wanting a family, when he's already had a family? And then we've got FAQs. But it all boils down to, these are shaming sites for guys to date the 30-year-old women who can't get guys to date them because they're 30-year-old women. Now this is a coming trend I've noticed, and I've been looking around. It seems that the MGTOW effect is having an effect on the dating sites as MGTOW is having an effect on the marriage industry and the birth rate. I'll try and find something else on this, but I found a lot of stuff about the falling birth rate more in America, so I'm probably on the 10-minute mark now, so I'll have to leave this video at this. I'll naturally put all these 3 links below so you can have a good read at yourself, but it seems that guys not bothering with 30-year-old women is having a dramatic effect across the board, as these sites are evidence. They're showing that they're trying to shame men into dating 30-year-old women. Right, I think I'm done for this one. You know the routine, people. Like, dislike, comment, subscribe. It's completely up to you, per usual. So until next Monday, that's it for this one. Bye-bye.